CSR is not, it's not charity. CSR is a claim, it's an entitlement. First of all, while we were having discussion outside, 29,986 crore, that's the amount which came to CSR in the CSR kitty during 2023-24, last year. Now it's a matter to find out how much of it, these 29,000 odd crores, how much of it has come to the voluntary sector. In fact, I am very keen about it to know, but perhaps there is no solution right now, there is no answer. We must find out. We must try to find out as to how much of it has come to the voluntary organizations who are directly serving on the ground and who happen to be working mostly in accordance with, in alignment with the Schedule 7, which are further aligned with the SDGs. So that's very important to know. And I believe that education takes the lion's share, that is nearly 10,000 crores. You know that Schedule 7 of the Companies Act 2013, where it's very clear that the programs and projects have to be according to Schedule 7. That's very clear under CSR. And the board of directors, whatever they recommend, that also has to be according to Schedule 7. Now Schedule 7 is very clear: eradicating hunger, poverty. Then of course the second is promoting education, vocational skill development. Third is gender equality and women empowerment. Fourth is environmental sustainability. Fifth is national heritage, art, culture. Sixth is sports. Seventh, disaster management. Eighth used to be road safety and OBCs, etc. Central government and state governments, whatever programs they carry out in socio-economic empowerment, which is again government. It's government, entirely government. Relief, SC, ST, minorities welfare. These are other points on the 8th point. 9th is incubators. The incubators and research and development, central state governments and PSUs. Again government, it's government. Then public funded universities, IITs and others. It's again government. And the 9th, 11th is slum development. Now the friends, we have to find out that CSR, for the purpose which it was created, is it actually serving the purpose? That is something which is very important for us to understand. Well, when I was in Niti Aayog that time, you know that I was joint coordinator of Niti Aayog CSR Standing Committee. There was a time when the term society was not included in CSR. It was included because our intervention, we demanded that society should be there. Otherwise it was companies. Trust was there with great difficulty. So that is, that is the kind of situation which it was. Now the point is that CSR is not, it's not charity. CSR is a claim, it's an entitlement. It is not philanthropy also, it is something very different. I would like to just make a point which I make always. See, if you look at the entire developmental process of India, you broadly categorize in 3 parts. Government, which has 2 very distinct parts. That is the democratic institutions, which are called from Panchayat to Parliament, Patwari to Prime Minister. And we talk about the bureaucratic government, to which I also belonged for 34 years. That is one part of it. The second part is the market economy. The market economy or corporate or the business, the GDP as we call it. And that makes India 5th largest economy. As per GDP, as you know, we are 5th largest economy, very soon likely to become 3rd largest economy. The third and the very critical sector happens to be the voluntary sector. 3.2 million of them were accounted for earlier. That is about 2013, now it should be about 40. Nearly 4 million voluntary organizations operate in the country, and they happen to be very, very important. Now they are important for the reason which I want to point out here. We are working in those areas where government has not been able to work. We are operating in those areas and subsectors where corporate will not work, they can't work. We are in those kind of areas. Women, children, disabled, elderly, deviants, health, education, poverty alleviation, environment. This is what social sector is, and that is what voluntary sector is. So these are the points I thought I'll mention here, because these are the challenges. And as I mentioned to you, that voluntary organization has a very important role to play. Because there are certain things, there are certain areas where only volunteer organizations can perform. And when I say volunteer organizations, I'm not talking about those volunteer organizations who are at war with the government, who are confronting the government, who are obstructing the so-called developmental programs. I'm talking of very innocent, those kind of volunteer organizations across the country, the grassroots organizations who are directly serving the people in these areas. So this is what the challenges are. The foundations which run the program, we are happy with that. They are our partners in many places. The government is also our government, so they are partners. But if the major part of this amount, these let's say 29,000 crores, if it goes to government, back to the government in government's programs, a welfare government, or if it goes to the foundations and trusts only, well, it's a food for thought whether that's the right thing to do. Thank you very much.